going to unfold. So please, round of applause. He's already on the stage. He's the CEO of Welthee, Mr. Cristian Voaides.
Hi, it's very good to be here. For a number of years, I traded on the financial markets. I developed fully automated trading software. And I was always interested in risk mitigation. I was always interested in how little to lose before making money. And a little bit over 3 years ago, I had an idea to develop a risk mitigation method based on the blockchain. Today, we heard a lot about, sorry, I went a little bit ahead of myself. Today, we heard in quite a few of the sessions about mass adoption. And the big question is, why do we not have yet big adoption, mass adoption after so many years? And of course, the problem is not simple, it's not easy to answer, but I believe two of the big reasons why we do not have mass adoption is the risk in volatility and the correlation. We all know 2022 was a very, very difficult year. I found this article in Reuters, and it said that it was one of the most turbulent years the investors have seen. Global equities were down 14 trillion, the second worst year on record. Also, the bonds, 17%, German bonds 25% in dollar value. So if you cannot trust even the bonds, and we saw the issue with the bank in Silicon Valley, right? What happened? What do you do? In the equity market, we saw last year very, very difficult, very big declines. You know, Apple 25%, Amazon 48%, Tesla 65%. And I love Bitcoin. And a few years ago, Bitcoin was somehow not correlated with what was going on in the equity market. But unfortunately, what we saw this last year was a very bad news, I believe, for this asset class. We saw gold going up 2%, but Bitcoin went, I think, 67%. And Bitcoin, I love Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, which was supposed to be the digital gold, right? It had a really bad year. Of course, there are many reasons. Terra Luna was just mentioned, FTX, and other very unfortunate events in the crypto market. We saw big declines also in the DeFi space. We just had the session on DeFi. And the other problem that I believe it is a huge issue, it's the correlation. I've just put on TradingView Ethereum and Bitcoin. And if we look at the two charts, they are almost like it's the same financial instrument, right? And I believe this is a big problem. If we look at the table of correlations, a lot of the financial instruments are very, very much correlated. And it is very difficult to build a digital portfolio in these conditions. You know, I used to give an example to a lot of people we are working with who are not into crypto, who are not into the digital assets. And just for illustration purposes, I was saying it's like, you know, Bitcoin is the elephant, and then you have a fly on the back of the elephant. The fly goes north, but the elephant goes south. What do you think it happens, right? So because of the huge correlation, I believe we need new systems, new economical systems, new tools to manage risk. And of course, there are many types of risks, and specifically, I'm talking now about the volatility risk. My vision was to create a platform where people can choose the risk level from 0 to 100%. And of course, there is no zero risk, right? I mean, in the moment you place a trade, you make an investment, in that second, you are already on negative, right? Because it's the spread, it's the commission, or whatever tool you use. So how would it be possible, though, to have a platform where people can choose to invest in a digital asset even with zero risk? That was my question. And a little bit over 3 years ago, I had an idea. I saw that nobody was doing it, so I thought, let me do some research. I researched a lot. I filed for a patent, not necessarily to enforce it, but not so that not others will do it and they will enforce it on me. Then I started building this platform where people can choose their risk level. And of course, we have to find parties in some ways who will take the risk for those who don't want to take the risk. And the challenge was to do it in a non-custodial way, so that people don't have to transfer us the money, but just send money to a smart contract that's probably insured, and so that we can offer some comfort level to those who want to invest. Our desire is to take the Wall Street to the Main Street. Now, that's not easy task, right? But we are attempting to do it. So we developed a set of smart contracts. Two sets of smart contracts. One is for assets that are not yet listed, for launchpads. And the other set of smart contracts are for assets that are listed on the exchanges. So that is the idea. People can choose their risk level, and if we are talking about an asset that is not yet listed, they send their, or they can buy with USD. The USD is transferred in USDC, and then they choose their risk level. If they want zero risk in the assets that are not yet listed, that means that the funds go into a smart contract and nobody can touch those funds. And the user will decide when they want, if they want their tokens, and they will just issue their tokens from the application, or if they want their money back. If the project is not delivering on their roadmap, on what they promised, they can just take their money back. The money, nobody touched them, and they are in the smart contract. Of course, if they want some risk, then we give them more tokens because they take some risk, and the percentage that they don't want to risk, it goes into a smart contract, and for this percentage that they want some risk, they will give them the token immediately. So this is the basic idea how this thing works. The smart contracts are audited by CertiK, and we are, and they are already integrated in our platform. Now, the more exciting part, I believe, is the smart contracts and the options to invest in assets that are already listed. So just imagine to be able to go to a platform and say, I want to invest in Ethereum with zero risk. And you are guaranteed from the volatility standpoint, yes, that if you put 1,000, you will be able to take your 1,000 back for sure. And that's what we are doing. So the smart contract will have a target, a stop loss, a time limit. We'll have a treasury. And in the moment somebody invests, the smart contract will top up, let's say, they will add to the investment from the treasury to compensate for the risk. And we already have finalized these smart contracts. They are in testing right now. Probably in the next month or so, they will be audited, and then we will implement them into the platform. Now, what we are very excited is to be able to go to really good projects and say, do you want to give your investors the option to invest with zero risk? And that will be a really exciting day, I believe, right? Because we give new tools And I believe we can contribute in a small way to the adoption. Because especially to investors who are not used with the volatility in the crypto market, it will give them a peace of mind. Now, of course, somebody needs to take the risk. So let's say that somebody invests with zero risk, and they will show exactly how much they will make if that portfolio or if that asset reaches the target. And maybe it's 10%, 20% or whatever, but they are guaranteed that if they put $1,000, they'll have $1,000 back if the stop loss is reached, right? Now, if the target is reached, those who are taking the risk, they will gain a lot more than the market. They will have a sort of a leverage. It's similar with a leveraged position in some ways, because we will take from those who do not want any risk, and we will give it to those who are taking the risk. Now, one exciting part also is that we are packaging everything into NFTs. So each position that somebody has is an actual NFT. So in a sense, this is also innovation in something new, because if you have a position in the market, right, it's your platform, it's your username, it's your password. There is no way for you to give your position to somebody else. Now, whoever has the NFT has the position. If the position is for a year, maybe it's up, maybe it's down, you have the option to have some liquidity a lot sooner. We are looking also at developing a two-token economical model. As I mentioned to you before, the problem with the correlation in the crypto market, it bothered me a lot. I love Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, it does what it does, but because I believe primarily because of the bots, all the instruments are taking up and down with Bitcoin. And so we are looking at creating two tokens, one that is listed. Of course, we need a listed token on the exchanges to be able to go in and out of positions. But we took a pretty hard decision recently to have one token that is listed internally through a smart contract, through a sales pool, with a floored price. So we are guaranteeing the floor price for one of the tokens. Of course, we cannot guarantee the liquidity for it if there is a lot of demand, but we are guaranteeing the floor price. And we will have one token that is listed on the exchanges to be able to go in and out of the portfolios that we mentioned. We recently created some staking pools, also a smart contract guaranteed or audited with Certic. And what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, it's worrying. I mean, about a year ago, I think I've read an article about Deutsche Bank that if 1% of the people who have money in Deutsche Bank will take their money out, the bank will go under. This is very worrying. What happens with the fractional reserve banking, it is really, really worrying. And we are looking at what we can do as a solution. We are working right now with a company from Switzerland that got an approval from FINMA to tokenize silver. I've been in their facilities. It's not a very large company. They have about 100 million Swiss francs of silver stored in a free zone in Zurich. And we will integrate silver in our wallet, and people will be able to basically invest in physical silver. If they want to go pick up their silver, it's stored in Switzerland, they can go and pick it up. If they want to be mailed home, I think that would be possible also. But with a card, with a debit card linked to the wallet, you can go to the mall and do your shopping, having your money in silver. The question was asked, a very good question, what do you do if you have a lot of money? I mean, can you imagine, you've seen last week, USDC, $3 billion right, into the bank. And if the government wouldn't have intervened, they would get back probably 250,000. That's the insurance for the accounts, right? It's very worrying to have a lot of assets and to be in the banks. So I believe we need new systems that are secure and that have also some liquidity. And I believe we are developing something like this. So we have, as I said, we're developing a legal framework, storage, auditing facilities. We are integrated with Verif for the KYC. As a payment gateway, we are using Coinify. We developed our own payment gateway for the crypto. Toward the end of this year, we plan to have also a card linked to the wallet. Now, we have a launchpad, and I'm very thankful that some of our biggest investors are here in the room to support us, and I'm very excited. And in the launchpad, we have some really exciting projects. TalkHit, it is the first project. Where is Welthee? Welthee is right there. If anyone wants to speak with Welthee, they are making plans now to list their token very soon. It's a gamified network, social network, very, very exciting. Welthee is the one who did our branding. He's an artist, but a great guy, lots of great ideas, and he's developing TalkHit. Recently, they got an amazing round of investment into the application, besides what they raised through our Launchpad. Also, we have Dexverse. Where is Dan? Dan is right there. If somebody is interested in some breakthrough innovation, even in how to bring real world into the DeFi, talk with Dan, please. Dan is working on some really, really exciting things in this space, gathered a great team around him, and we are very excited to be able to do our little part in bringing the Wall Street to the Main Street, in helping a little bit in the adoption process of crypto. Rift One is also a project from Africa, giving a mini computer and a platform primarily geared toward education, and we will soon launch it. We had some delays in launching this one, faced a lot of challenges recently with banks, with Facebook and Apple Store asking now all sorts of licenses, even though we use third party that are licensed. So we did face quite a few challenges. I became an expert on how not to do marketing. I don't know if anybody relates on that. We've spent quite a bit of money, a lot of money, and things didn't work, but now we are seeing some things that do work, and that is very exciting. Now, we were moving toward bringing companies from Web 2 into Web 3. We're discussing now with a very big tourism project with a cashback option that is really, really exciting. We have very advanced discussions on a project in agriculture. It's amazing what can happen in the agriculture. I knew nothing about this, but some people came toward us, and we had several meetings brainstorming and seeing what needs they have and how we can help them meet those needs. And it's really, really exciting to see some potential projects in the agriculture. And yeah, we have a pretty user-friendly wallet, and we have these services that we can provide. So if any of you, any startups need a distribution system, we have a backend. We can do custom vesting, and a lot staking pools, and with contracts that are already audited. We plan to give our tools to investment funds for them to create portfolios. It's not, we have a few people, good people, but we want the tools to be used by financial institutions and to see through this our contribution to the adoption. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cristian Voaides. Wonderful. Great. Fantastic. Absolutely.